Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Straight Talk for the Soul series, your vibrational, multi-dimensional vitamin for the body, mind, and spirit. I'm Carrie Murphy, your host, creator, and founder of this global broadcast and brilliant community of light. I want to extend a bright and beautiful good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you tuning in from all around the world. I see people calling in from all over. It's a beautiful thing. Welcome home. This is your sacred space for shifting and upgrading, remembering your divine creative potential, and igniting your personal power. We invite you to subscribe to this show if you haven't already. It's a free platform that you can access at straighttalkforthesoul.com, and you can listen to all of our replays on iTunes and YouTube, and connect with us further in our private Facebook group or Instagram. My intention with today's soulfully inspired gathering is for love and, of course, joy and healing energy to flow through my voice and this entire sacred energetic space with grace and ease, welcoming and inviting in the highest divine support and participation throughout our time together. And now my favorite question, what is the best that could happen today? Well, relax, breathe, open, and receive. Intend for a shift to happen because the wonderful, the amazing, the glorious Judy Cali is here. As my co-creative partner, we are gathering today to make an honest intention known from our sacred heart to the dragon sacred heart as one heart of life and truth. We're going to talk all about this, but Judy really wants us to know, and she's going to share, that the dragon DNA is part of our own human DNA, and dragons are similar to the phoenixes. They step out of old energetic ways and paradigms to transmute into an entirely new being. Dragons are not dinosaurs, but living light frequencies that have taken the form of ancient dragon guardians that seek to connect with those who are ready and willing to receive a new ally to guide us one step at a time. They are fiercely protective and possess natural magic as keepers of great treasures and guardians of paths to realms that are beyond our current understanding, showing us strength and courage and fortitude as messengers of inner and outer balance. They also teach us to enter into dream time interdimensionally as a participant and as a director, as the dragons are beings with intelligent fields of light, and they hold all knowledge and open doors to universal wisdom and energies. They are masters of all elements within the omniverses and teach us to blend with our environment, embracing our own power and honoring our own promises. The fields of consciousness created by dragons are capable of building bridges and portals to other dimensions and possibilities. And their mission is to escort humans into a new way of thinking and being. And they have asked to help, but they will not interfere with our free will, but once asked, their action is fast and immediate. So today we are gathering once again to make our honest intentions known from our human sacred heart to our dragon sacred heart as one heart of life in truth. Judy will be channeling a message from any of the dragons or the Mer People who choose to step forward today. And with Judy, it's always a beautiful surprise to see who comes through. So stay tuned for that. We will also be taking live callers. Start to raise your hand if you've called in by phone. A bit more about Judy. She has been doing intuitive healing work with the Ascended Masters and Angels since she was 3 years old. She was asked by Hilarion, the Ascended Master of Healing of the Emerald Ray, to go public 18 years ago. Honoring that request, working with people all over the world has been a joy for Judy. Working through her sacred heart and her I Am presence, she receives a whole picture of you by seeing and hearing and feeling and knowing about your soul. She is one of the most requested speakers on this show, and I am honored and thrilled to have her with me today. So please join me in extending many, many waves of love and light and joy to beautiful Judy as I welcome her back. Judy, welcome home.
I have to tell you, I have been so excited about this call. And I was telling Carrie, I was writing up the prayer this morning because it comes by divine inspiration. And I was so excited writing the prayer as these dragons are talking to me. I had to set my alarm to make sure that I got
she was on time.
at the right time. Because I was literally at 10:45 going, oh my gosh, I want to add more. So
right.
I will finish the prayer later today, and those of you that choose to schedule a session, you get my custom prayer. And my prayers, along with the information that I gave you, they come from divine inspiration. And I ask that my sacred heart is connected to all the sacred hearts of those that are here to listen to this call, those that are here to listen to the replays and beyond, and also for those that are here to listen to us sharing with each other. And it's a very sacred experience because then all our hearts are connected and we are all creating the information for the call, and we all are creating the prayer that I'm doing. And you are part of guiding it because the information being given is needed by you. So it's quite exciting. And out of fairness, all of the information, about 3/4 of what I shared on the opening page, came from a lady named Jillian with Quantum Awakening. And she's brilliant at pulling in a lot of information. And I sort through it to share what I'm feeling guided to share. So I bless her and I thank her contribution. So it's quite exciting to be here and to feel like right now I can see your hearts, and they're all with little happy faces. So I just see all these seas and oceans of little happy faces all around me. So it's like from all over the world, I see all these little happy faces inside the earth and on top of the earth. So it's a lovely way to be greeted. Thank you.
Oh, and we feel yours. I love your laugh. I love your joy. I love your sacred open heart, Judy. I feel it so beautifully every time we connect, and I know everyone else does too. So thank you for deciding to be back here with us. This beautiful community, Judy, has grown so much since you were here last, and I'm excited to perhaps introduce some new people to you. Judy, I want to dive into all of the dragon information. First, for those who don't know you, I know that as I mentioned, when you were 3 years old, you actually had open heart surgery. That was the first of 4 near-death experiences for you. You worked privately with the Ascended Masters and Angels until 1999. And then you were guided to take this work public. What do you feel is important to share about the journey that led you here, to let people know a little bit more about you?
That you need to listen to the inner promptings of your heart. It's really important because you are an original creation of divinity. There's nobody else in all of creation like you. Never has been, never will be. And you've custom designed your own journey. So you literally encoded into your own sacred heart. And by the way, your sacred heart is your immortal heart. It's your high heart. It's the heart of you that's connected as the heart of creator and the heart of creation. You are creator. You are source. You are all that is. And so when you're in your sacred heart, you're home. Home is not out here. Home is in your heart. And you're in your divine flow. And when you're in divine flow, everything is provided automatically. The moment you step into doubt and worry and impatience and false evidence appearing real, fear in any way, shape, or form, you block your own flow. So it's really important that you listen to those inner promptings because it's your gut, your higher self talking to you and letting you know. And I would venture to say every person on this call, because you are all part of the 10% of the population here to lead the way. You wouldn't be guided to this call for any other reason. So You're all leaders. And it's exquisitely beautiful, the energies that you carry, because I'm literally swirling in these beautiful colors and these beautiful energies. They're all coming from you. So it's absolutely wonderful. So for me, my journey has been a very deeply personal journey, but it's also been an amazing journey. And yours has too. And when you look at another person, please love yourself enough to recognize your individuality. Do not ever compare yourself to another being. That's the greatest disservice you can do, because you came here with a gift that only you can share as a piece of the puzzle. And we're all a weave in life. We're each a thread of that weave. And that came from my dog, Karma. My younger daughter is an animal communicator for over 35 years. And I was blessed to have guided to me through our hearts an animal named Karma Soul, who for the Great Central Sun, who's on my website. And he passed, and then he walked back into another body, and it's a long story. But one of the first things I asked him is, I said, what is it that's most important you want people to know? And he said, we're all a thread in the weave of life, and there's no hierarchy. So celebrate everybody, because they're here by divine design. And so through those experiences, for the first 45 years, I didn't share anything about what I did, because I didn't know it was healing work. All I knew was I was guided from the time I was 3, as I was recovering from open heart surgery, because I was one of the first children they did open heart surgery on in 1949. They had just perfected the procedure the year before. And so I was guided to want to put my hand on people's hearts. And all I knew is they would feel better. I didn't know what that meant. And so if I couldn't touch their heart, I would try to touch their arm or their leg. And if I couldn't do that in an unobtrusive way, then I would see heart light, a big pink gold heart light, coming from my heart and covering them and seeing them divinely perfect. And I did not have any clue that was healing work. So when Ascended Master Hilarion, who is the Ascended Master of Healing, and Archangel Gabriel, who is of your clarion call, when they approached me and asked me to go public in a couple of years, I was shocked. Because they said, you're here to do healing work. I said, I don't do healing work. They said, well, what is it you think you do? And I said, well, I see the divine perfection of who somebody is. And I send them unconditional limited love. And he said, well, what do you think healing work is? And I said, well, I see them on television, because I'd never grown up in a healing family. I'd never seen healers or connected with them. I had no clue what they were, except on television I would see these priests standing there putting their hand on somebody's forehead, and they'd say, you're healed, and people would fall on the floor. And I remember the first time I saw it, I thought, that's a really funny way of working with people. So I told Hilarion, well, this is what I've seen. And he burst out laughing. And he said, Judy, I'm not asking you to do anything like that. I'm just asking you to do what you've been doing since you were a very little girl. And I said, well, I've taken no classes. I have no certificates. I don't have any degrees or anything. He said, you don't need any of it. He said, you've been doing this for so many lifetimes that you're just going to intuitively know what each soul needs. And as an example, last year I did over 850 sessions, and more than 350 of them I did not charge for various reasons. So I'm very committed to working with the person, and I do not let time or money be more important than the person. So the work that I do is all heart-centered work. So that's kind of how I started. And when they asked me to go public, I moved 14 times in 9 years. And the last 4 moves were all in 1 week. And each move I was doing in the first year, I moved 4 times, 3 states, the first year. And I did not have the resources to make all these moves. I had no idea where I was going or what the purpose was of where I was going. Mother Mary worked with me. And so that was quite a journey of trusting and surrendering in the highest light of your soul. And that's what I suggest to you. Trust in the integrity and the beauty of who you are. You are all into everything. You have every single answer you need inside your own heart. Celebrate that.
The integrity of it does. Your integrity is immeasurable. I mean, as long as I have known you, your dedication to being of service is unlike anyone you're unique to anyone I've ever known, Judy. And it's so beautiful how joyful you are always, and you spend every day of your life working with people and being of service, and it's like the energy, I don't know, you're always in a joyful state, and it's so beautiful. You are clearly being supported divinely, by the masters, by the angels, and that leads me to direct us into our conversation today about the dragons. I mean, I've known of your connection to the masters and the angels and the golden dolphins and the whales and experienced those connections myself, but today you wanted to talk about the dragons. So what inspired the desire to really focus on this today?
What I got this week was that this particular group is eager to free themselves from who they used to be. And so the dragon said the main message for them is be free to be who you really are and live it. And live it authentically and truthfully, and stop apologizing for who you are.
Wow.
And when the dragons approached me, I started seeing dragons in art, in books, in stuff presented to me in the last 6 to 7 years. And I didn't quite know why they were nudging me. But I had gone through that about 10 years before with the fairies, until they finally started connecting and then had all this stuff they wanted me to share with them. So what I recognize is that the dragons were incredibly powerful beings, and they were not to be trifled with. You really had to come from a place of integrity and clarity to work with the dragons. And so I was quite surprised when they started more being in messages to clients. I'd start seeing them in between appointments. I would start feeling their energy around me. And this time, it was on Monday morning at around 4 o'clock in the morning when this majestic white dragon, I saw it flying, and it woke me up. And it was sitting in the most exquisite position, and it had completely white with the most stunning, powerful blue eyes. And it was just laying there, staring at me. And I said, I literally said, as I was waking up, thank you for coming. I'm so excited you're here. And I'm so excited to feel what it is we can share with each other. Because it was so beautiful the way that I just saw it, literally flying in its full magnificence. And then it just curled into this beautiful ball. And all I could see was its body, and I saw its head and these blue eyes that were absolutely gorgeous. And I just basked in its beauty for probably 10 minutes. I just sat there taking in its energy because it was so gorgeous. And so then I started, and I said to that particular dragon, I'm really tired, and I need to finish getting a little bit more sleep. Can you come back to me with what your message is, right?
Right.
Because this is 4 o'clock in the morning, and I need to get up at 5 or 6 to take the dogs to the dog park if I can. I live near Palm Springs. It's been in the teens and the early 20s, and here we are at 90 degrees at 6 in the morning, so I can't always take them, so I always need to be prepared. And the dragon just had a big smile on its face, and it winked at me. And I went, okay, we're on the same page. So when I got up, the dragon was there. Everywhere I was going in the day, and when I would tune in, the dragon was still there. And then I was finishing with my clients, and I said to it, can you now start giving me what it is you're here to share? Because I gather you're here to work with Carrie's group. And the dragon just smiled again. And so then, as it was communicating with me, it said, my name is Saphara. It's Soforah. And it said, I am Saphara. And I am here to awaken this group that you're working with in an entirely new way on a much more expanded level than they've been exposed to previously. And part in its message, it shared with me, it said, I have been working with them for the last 2 weeks, preparing them for this particular call.
Wow, and there's a lot of us here today, too.
I'm telling you, it was
there's
absolutely
a lot of
wonderful.
people on this call today. Wow. That is incredible.
Here's how it started, because it was so amazing. It said, and I want to be sure I share it with you because it was so beautiful, and it was the very beginning of the prayer. That's what they started to give me, and they first started sharing the message. Hold on, I just need to find the page. Okay, this is from the dragon this morning. That love is all that matters, and love does not see separateness, but delights in variety. Dragons see the truth in people, and you can never fool a dragon. Dragons know when the truth is for you and what the truth is, and will guide you to it every single time. I come as a white dragon to represent purity of heart, as a reminder of who you are. In this moment, all life exists, and you have endless choices. Hold on. Mechanics of copying information. We dragons represent power and wisdom, and so do you. And then it went on I'm now on 9 pages. So that was the beginning of how it presented itself to me. And what's beautiful is I started receiving, and I chose to get this from Jillian and Quantum Awakenings. I saw this dragon that is cut out of wood that's made in Bali, and it was speaking to me. And there was also a beautiful red carnelian stone in a swirl. It looks like the top of Frosted Freeze ice cream cones that swirl. And there was a beautiful ocean jasper stone that represented the water dragons, and the carnelian represented the fire dragons. And every part of me was going, yes, yes, yes. So this particular carved dragon told me yesterday that its name is Alalil. It's Anhkilil, Anlalil. And it's a summoner. I'd never heard that term before. And I said, what do you mean you're a summoner? And it said, I summon through your heart and my heart, as the dragon heart, all that you're ready for. I am the summoner. So this dragon summoned me to this whole topic for you guys. So you can call in Ankh-Alil, and anytime you want, and it will guide you. And that's why it came forth. So I think that is so cool that these beautiful dragons all coming together, working together, presented this information for your guys because you all summoned it. We all summoned it. We're ready for this. Isn't that exciting?
It is. Who knew? I'm excited. So Sephora was one, and Ankh-Alil.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And the red fire
Carnelian.
dragon is the carnelian is Rutai, Rutai, and the water dragon is Maji, Maji. And they gave that to me just this morning, right before I was getting ready for your call. So I thought, so now I can tell the people the names of them. But it is such a delight if we choose to live in the present moment. And my guide said you need to choose to live where you're breathing. Because when you live where you're breathing, everything falls into place beautifully because you're in your divine flow. When you think you're living in the past and when you're projecting to the future, which, by the way, neither of them exist, you're living all your lives now. And you're living every form of life, and you're choosing to have every experience of life. There is no past or future. There's just in this moment. So when you choose to live where you're breathing, then you're tapped into the wholeness of who you are. Because when you spend your day going back at things you used to do, and if I just had this and that, and you're engaging in your head, which is ego, and or you jump to the future, and when I have that, I'll be happy, and da-da-da, and all this talk, the whole time you're leaving very little for tomorrow because you haven't been in the present moment most of your day. And then you wonder why you don't feel engaged in life, because you're spending all of your energy and your life force in the past and the future, which have nothing to do with today. And you haven't even created tomorrow yet. So what will determine what you experience tomorrow is only one thing: how much you are present today, and as much as you're present today, how much are you loving yourself? And that particular love is what will determine what you experience tomorrow. May I share a little detail they're giving me about you, Carrie?
Yes, go ahead.
You have 1,362 current potentials for tomorrow. Which one of those 1,362 potentials you actually live tomorrow is determined only by how much you love yourself today and nothing else. So that's why the dragons were so powerfully just in alignment with saying, we're here to share our energy because you are us and we are you. And you're now ready to step into dragon energy so you can live fully and completely and be who you really are. Be authentic and truthful and enjoy being you. Don't try to dumb yourself down or water the truth of you so that you blend with other people. That's not what you're here for. You're here to set an example for others to follow. That's why you're part of the 10%, here to lead the way. And your heart light is so bright, you probably do not know this, your heart light is so bright because all 10% of us that are here to lead the way are ascended masters. And there's no hierarchy. So when you realize that, your heart light is an ascended master heart. And your heart light is so bright, I want you to hear this, that your energy, your heart light is irritating 90% of the population around you.
That's funny.
Because
yes.
you're outshining. And the 90% are fully precious beings, but they are followers, and they have just lived less lives. So they don't have the degree of wisdom we have. We've lived lots and lots and lots more lives, so therefore we've accumulated more wisdom. So they have their job to do, and we have our job to do. But we are ascended masters. And it's important to recognize that's what you've been stepping into in 2019. And in 2018, you released your deepest core pains and fears. I call it being in the muck, where we finally got down in the core of our being to where traumas first were created, where energy patterns that are not loving were first created. That's what you're clearing now. And 2018 was the most intense year of our life so far because we received the largest downloads of love we've ever received in this life on 11/11 and 12/11 of last year. And on 6/6 of this year through the 21st, we received the largest download of unconditional love we've ever received. And that's why everything on the top of the planet looks so nuts. Because anything that was truly unloving at the deepest level of fear is what's coming up to be cleared. And it's coming up in your life, and it's coming up in humanity's life. So you need to be discerning to listen to the wisdom of your own heart, because your heart is 5,000 times more powerful than your head. And your heart never lies to you, not once. Your head lies to you all day long.
Wow.
So please.
Wow, this is powerful.
Yes, I tried.
Yes, you do it well. So we really are, every single one of us who's on this call right now, and this call,
And
Judy, is more full than any call I've had this season or this year, for that matter. And that is all very divinely designed, it sounds like, for all of us to really awaken to this expanded level and be the example that we're here to be, and really, yes, be authentically ourselves,
and it's important,
which is what you said earlier. Mm-hmm.
That what you just said is the key. The key to everything in your life is you being authentic, because then you're connected to the truth of who you are, not anybody else. You're connected to your truth. And isn't that really what you want?
Absolutely.
So when you release all this idea that this person has your answer out here and that person has your answer out here and this person has your answer out here, let me tell you something. All the others do not exist. All that we've been taught in third dimension is others are out here. They are our enemies, and we have to be afraid of them. All the others are just other parts of you. You're one energy. We are one heart, one creation, one creator, and everything is a part of us, and we are part of everything. So the fifth dimensional way, instead of the third dimensional way to interact with other parts of ourselves, is it, as an example, let's say you see a beautiful moon and it touches you in a way that you haven't been touched in a long time. That's your moon wisdom connecting to you. Welcome your moon wisdom into your heart, because the moon is showing you you're living a life as a moon. When you see an animal that speaks to you and somehow you're connected to peregrines, or you're connected to flamingos, or dolphins touch your heart, you're living lives as those things. And they're connecting to you, saying you're now ready to take in the wisdom that your soul holds about peregrines or flamingos or dolphins. So every part of life is talking to you all the time. So when you realize that, you stop, because you're not here to learn anything. You're not here to learn lessons. That is a huge lie. You are all into everything. There's nothing you're not. Why would you have to learn what you already are? All you need to do is realize that we went through the veil of forgetting before we were born. And we agreed to live a human life 100% as a human and not remember that we were ascended masters. And we did that. And we shifted the planet 10 years sooner than most people know. We actually cleared third dimension December 21st, 2002, not 2012. We did some additional clearing on 2012, but the bulk of it was done on 2002. So why does that matter? Because you became a sovereign being with a clean slate, and you don't owe anything to anybody anymore. Even your own family. They're not your family. They're part of your soul family on the other side, and the other side, heaven, is right here on earth, along with the Rainbow Bridge, just 3 feet up off the ground. Earth is called heavenly earth. There's no heaven up in the sky. It's right here. So your loved ones never left you. So when you realize that, you realize that everything of who you are, you carry in your heart. That's what Jesus taught. The kingdom is within. You are the universe you beg to help you. You are the universe that you think has your back. You have your own back. You are the creator of life. And you're here to create. And you're here to have fun. And you're here to have adventures. And yes, it can get messy. But you're here to have journeys and excitements and experiences and adventures. You're not here to live a perfect life. We're not here to sit in a cave and om all day. We're here to now shift into living a fifth dimensional life. And in fifth dimension, there's no disease, illness, or aging, because all those things are caused by fear. So we're here to live a love-based life more than 51% of your day, not 100%. just 51%, because we have been living in third dimension, 96 to 97% pain, suffering, and fear. And we agreed as 10 percenters 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago, to stop putting our energy into third dimension and to release our deepest core pains and fears by 51%. So we could live a love-based life, not a fear-based life. So on December 21st, 2002, I get information 10 to 15 years before I see it in print or hear other people talking about it. And that's because I surrender and trust in the integrity of my own soul. As long as I'm not hurting anybody and I'm connected to my sacred heart and my I am presence, I trust everything that I receive. And I very seldom doubt or worry. If I do, it doesn't last very long. Mm-hmm. I'm human. I have my moments, right? But the important thing was my guides woke me up at 2:30 in the morning and said, Judy, as of right now, no more carbon-based anything is being born on planet Earth. Well, anybody born before 1980 was carbon-based. And that means we're now shifting to crystalline, which is what we are in Atlantis and Lemuria, and many of our expanded lives beyond that. But carbon-based is heavy and dense energy. We feel like we're walking through mud. So my guides told me many years ago that when we left third dimension, it's like we were turtles. No disrespect to turtles, but they said we were like turtles, and it would take all day to cross the parking lot because turtles love the fact that they don't miss a thing. They're 100% near the ground, and they don't miss a thing. They don't want to get there quickly. They want to absorb everything along their way. They want to live in the moment and take it all in. Is that not wise? That's what Tommy Turtle told me about a month and a half ago. So
Tommy Turtle.
What my guide, that was Tommy Turtle. And what's interesting is my guides came in and said, what you really have stepped into are being hummingbirds. And you're oscillating at such a higher frequency of love that you can't even see the wings moving. You can cross the whole parking lot in less than a second. That's what you stepped into. So we've been collapsing time as we have been honoring more and more of our fifth dimensional hearts, because there's no time and space in fifth dimension. So we're down to 6 hours a day. Last fall we were living 8 hours a day. That's it. That's why we don't have to-do lists. We can't do it. We're not here to do anymore. We're here to be. And by the last 10 years, we've been being guided so strongly, and you've all felt it, to slow down and simplify.
Absolutely.
It's not about doing. It's about being. And when you're being authentic and truthful, then there's nothing blocking and everything goes into flow and you don't have to worry. It's all taken care of. So the moment you get into and recognize when you're in your heart loving something, whether it's music, whether it's passionate and you're an artist, whether it's you're a doll maker, or you're holding a child that you've given birth to or somebody else has, or you're hearing something or feeling something, holding the hand of a grandma that you feel so loved for, when you're in that moment, you can't be in love and fear at the same time. It's physically impossible. And when you're in the love frequency, you are 100% being nurtured and supported and loved and cherished. You have no concerns. You have no worries. You have no doubts. You're 100% being nurtured, holding that baby's hand or touching your grandma's cheek. Or for me, when I hear Andrea Bocelli sing, he touches every cell in my body and I sob because I feel the sacredness of who he is touching the sacredness of me. It's a beautiful experience. So when we realize that we just need to be in that frequency more than half of our day, that's it. And by living in the present moment and being in the love frequency and allowing ourselves to choose to be happy now, everything gets taken care of.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is how much of our energy has gone into stuff that has no significance anymore. None. We cleared all karma on December 21st, 2002. Our scripts that we wrote for our life, we cleared. All oaths, covenants, agreements, and vows are gone, a third dimension. The I am presence of every soul on the planet agreed to ascension or they couldn't stay here. They also agreed to take care of all their own needs, and they also agreed that they're 100% responsible for every single thought, word, deed, and choice they make, and whatever that creates. They're 100% responsible. It's not our job anymore. And for most of our life, we made others our job at our expense. We're not to do that anymore. Archangel Michael was very clear with me in 2007. He said, Judy, those of you that are here that are the 10%ers, you're not here to heal, fix, mend, or band-aid one more soul at your expense. From this point on, you're a sovereign being with a clean slate, and the dolphins came to remind you that you're a divine being of joy. So start recuperating and regenerating and healing, and put your energy into yourself and take care of you so you can create the second half of your life a heck of a lot more fun than the first half, because we're done shifting the planet from third to fourth. We did it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we exceeded what anybody thought was possible. So everything points to you being you. And that's why I was so grateful when the dragons made that clear to me. They said that is the main message. Be who you are, and stop apologizing, and stop hiding, and stop thinking you're insignificant and you're not worthy. For gosh sakes, you're ascended masters. You've already been enlightened. You've already been ascended. You've done it all. Mm-hmm. And by the way, the most painful roles being played on the planet today, right now, are all being played by ascended masters. I don't care what form of life they are. They're bringing attention to the areas that we personally have an opportunity to change our minds on. So if you see a child that has the bloated tummy and it's playing in sewer water because it's starving and it's laughing, that's an ascended master. When you see a tree being cut down in the rainforest and they've got it on the news, and right now there's so much information on there about the rainforest, mm-hmm. Those are all ascended masters bringing attention. The ones that are burning up, they're bringing attention to pay attention. Pay attention to what matters and stop making money your God. You are your source, not anything outside of you, not your job, not your marriage, not your talent, not your equity in your home. None of that is your source. You are your source. And you need to start out of courtesy to you and love for you. We came here in this life to love ourselves more than we've ever loved ourselves in any life. This is the mother lode life we're living. And we came to be our own best friend, not our worst enemy as we've been taught to do. And we came to be the love of our own life. We don't need another person. And when you start taking care of you and loving you and being gentle and kind and tender and respectful and loving to you, then you have it to give to everybody else. But it starts with your wealth first. And that's the opposite of what we were taught as women. If we took care of ourselves, we were called being selfish. Smarten up, women. That's a patriarchal thing that has been pushed on us. It is not the truth anymore. It never was, but we took it in. Now we're here to stand as an androgynous being in our light body. And as Mother Mary said to me in 2007, she said, you guys, all 10% of you, are way, way, way too serious. She said, as fast as you get rid of one responsibility, you guys actually go looking for another. And you haven't giving yourself time to play and have fun because you forgot how to play and have fun. So she said, that's where your energy needs to go so you can lighten up. You can't be heavy-hearted and heavy-minded and align with your androgynous self and align with your light body. It doesn't work. You must lighten up in everything and be in the moment and enjoy. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have pain. That doesn't mean that I don't have things that are sad. We just had a death in our family last Saturday. And there again, there's no death. We're just energy. We've always existed and we always will. There's no birth and there's no death. There's just constantly rejuvenating ourselves to experience different forms of life. And so my beautiful being who went into the Rainbow Bridge on Saturday was so beautifully guided and loved and cherished that we already heard from him 10 minutes after he passed. Our particular, we have an African gray parrot, and the African gray parrot said, "Hi, Louie." "Hi, Louie." He had already seen it.
Oh.
And the little girl that we had staying with my granddaughter came after the passing had happened, and we took everybody out to dinner in a Mexican restaurant because we wanted to celebrate his life, not focus on being unhappy. And Abby was a sweet little girl who she's now 9, and she said, "I saw Louie the moment I walked in the house, in every room, and he's here in the restaurant. He's everywhere."
Wow.
She was seeing him, and she's 9 years old. So my point to you is, everything is known. There's no secrets in fifth dimension. When you meet another being, sacred heart to sacred heart, you see all the lives they're living, everything they're thinking, and everything they're feeling. There are no secrets, and that's what we're stepping into. So that's why everything that's been hidden under the carpet by the corporations and the media and all the different beings is now coming out to be seen for what it is. There will be no more secrets.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that helps.
I was just going to let you go. Everybody is so enjoying you as always. And it sounds like the dolphins come in to remind us of this joy, and the dragons are here to help us step into our truth. No more hiding. Give us strength and courage and fortitude. And we have so many questions, Judy, about the dragon.
I'm ready.
Many people have asked, where do they come from? What dimension? What galaxy? And there's probably 30 people who've asked something similar to that. Okay.
All things come from divinity and our divinity. There's no place. Mm-hmm. Stop thinking like a third dimensional person. We don't come from a specific planet. We don't come from a specific thing. We are pure divinity, all and everything. Dragons come from the heart of creation, just like we do, but they're in a different form. And through all of life, they have always existed, just like you've always existed. So to answer your question, they don't come from a place. They come from the heart of Creator, just like you do, and you are the heart of Creator. You're every dragon that's ever been created. Do you know that there's an angel for every blade of grass? That's how many angels there are. So you're every angel. You're every blade of grass. You're every thought. I had a lady yesterday, I was doing her session, and one of her lives she's living is a thought that Albert Einstein had. Isn't that interesting? Mm-hmm. And when Albert Einstein comes to me and gives me messages, he calls himself Brainy Boy.
Brainy Boy.
Brainy Boy. Yeah, he says Brainy Boy's here. So let's take some callers.
Let's do that. Okay, and I'm going to go to some of the other questions in the Q&A a little bit later, but we have, again, it's *2 to raise your hand if you called in by phone. I would say half of our audience has their hands up, so we have lots to choose from. So if you could just give us your name and your question, that would be wonderful. Okay, first caller I'm going to is area code 718. 718, you're live.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Hi. My name is Lenore.
Hi, Lenore. What is your question?
Well, I understand that Judy can pick up on our energy and stuff, and I trust that she can tell me what I need to know.
One of the things they're telling me is that you're very hard on yourself. Do you understand, Lenore?
No.
Okay. You have a tendency to judge yourself much harsher than you do other people. Do you understand that?
Okay.
And what that means is you've had very people around you that are critical and judgmental. I would gather it's your parents because I'm feeling them. So what I'm going to say to you is, as much as you can, Lenore, start detaching from the things that you were taught that hurt your heart, because you have such an exquisitely beautiful heart, and you have an angel named Abigail that is around you all the time, and she's been with you since you were 6 months old. So let Abigail help you. But you really want to, as much as you can, detach from the hurtful things that people have said or how they've judged or criticized you, because none of it applies to you. You're a glowing heart. I'm seeing you. You're absolutely beautiful. So work with Abigail. That's my suggestion to you. Okay? Call her in each day and call in the part of you that's Abigail. Don't call her in separate, because that's third dimension. Call in the part of you that's Abigail, and your wisdom of being Abigail will then start being in your heart and your mind, and you'll start knowing deeper. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, Lenore.
Thank you.
You glowing heart. I love that.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks again, Lenore. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to go to, here we are, area code 650. 650. You're live.
Hi, this is Belinda.
Hi, Belinda. Welcome.
Hi. Hi, Judy. Yay.
Hi. It's nice to talk to you.
You too. I'm so lucky. And Carrie, I met you at Pacific Costa Robles years ago. Yay!
Oh,
I know
did
everybody.
you? Oh,
yes.
how nice. Hi, Belinda. Well, what is your question, my dear?
I have three, but I'm going to just go with one. Judy, I work with the dragons, and I would like more discernment and clarity on the messages that I receive. I just mostly invoke them when I go places to assist me and whatever needs to be assisted. But I'm also in a transition and thinking about moving and packing up my stuff. So any guidance on either one of those would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
What I'm going to first suggest to you is thank you for listening to your heart and being here.
Thank you.
Because the information we're sharing today is critical for you. And if you feel so guided, the prayer will perfectly honor you. But I'm going to suggest that you start calling in the part of you that is Ankalil, the carved being from Bali that is on the flyer. Okay? Because Ankalil is the summoner. And like I said, I've never heard about this being before. It came in just this last 2 days. So the summoner will help you to be clear about what you choose to summon, and you want only what honors you now. That's all you want. Just what honors you now. Stay out of all the details of what you think that is. Because your higher self knows exactly what will allow you to live the greatest potential for you for this lifetime in your divine vocation. It will awaken in you. So Ankalil can help you to decipher that and take you to the next level, because you're ready for the next level, which is you realizing you don't need to call the dragons in. You need to awaken your own dragon wisdom that you have inside your own heart. That's why it's not working. Most of our guides have stepped back the last 6 or 7 years because we don't have any guides or angels in fifth dimension. So we are our own guide or angel. So most of our guides and angels have stepped back. So we will step into our own power and recognize that we're not out here. We are in here in our heart. So call in the part of you that's Ankalil and let Ankalil help you to be much clearer about what it is that honors you to know now. And it's an automatic connection because there's no other. Do you get it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I suggest for you. Okay. And there is a dragon that looks like all peacock colors. That is one of your main dragons. So let me tune in and see if it will share its name with me. Hold on. Peli, P-E-L-I. So you can call in Peli. Okay? That's what I suggest.
Yeah.
Belinda. So Ankalil and Peli, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
I do have just one tiny clarifying question on that. So when you get messages from dragons, because the guidance is, call them in as your own, and I get that. But do you see the discordant? I'm just like, okay, you're getting messages like they're from outside, but you're saying that they're really not from outside.
No, they're not from outside. They're coming inside. They're from my own heart, and it's coming from my own dragon wisdom.
Okay.
But because I'm sharing it with a lot of people, they're bringing in physical things that you can utilize to help connect you to that part of your heart where you are getting your own messages because they're coming from your own wisdom. Do you get that?
Yeah. Thank you for that. That was very helpful, right? You're just sharing it in a different way.
Yep.
But it's still coming through your heart. Okay. Yay.
Yep. Thank you, Belinda.
Thank you both. It's so nice being on the call. I was really called to be here, so thank you both so much for making it happen.
You're welcome, and glad we were together in the Tetons. That's fun to know. All right, take care, Belinda. All right,
okay.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Okay. Let's see, a few lines opened up there. Let me go ahead and close those out. Okay, next caller that I'm going to is area code 714. 714.
Oh, hi, this is Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, I'm so glad I got picked. I was really hoping that. I am feeling this energy really, really strongly in my whole being, and I'm not so sure what I should be asking, except that I am in the process. I've been working on a sitcom pilot for more than a year. I'm still working on it, and I'm having a really hard time making choices as far as the direction to go, like what to add and what not to add. And I'm wondering how I can...
You just need to live where you're breathing. Barbara, that's the key.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
You live in the moment now. You and I on the phone. You live here now. You're not making a grocery list. You're not thinking about your child. You're 100% here now.
Yes,
that's what being in the present moment is. We need to do that more than half of our day. So it has nothing to do with you trying to figure it out. You need to surrender and trust in the integrity of your own heart in the moment, and your heart will guide you with complete clarity into what feels good and what does not feel good. And just let feeling good be your guide. It'll take you exactly where you're meant to go. It's very simple. We make life complicated through fear because you're afraid of doing the wrong thing. But you can't. And by the way, you've never made a mistake, Barbara. And you've never been a victim. None of us have. We agreed to everything before we were born with everybody involved. So you can't make a mistake. You can just have a different experience. An experience is not good or bad. We label it because we're taught that. But experience is just experience. And there's a gift in it for you every single time. And your job is to discover what the gift is that you presented to yourself to help you expand into more of who you are. So just keep it simple. I call it KISS. Keep it simple, sweetie. Okay? Just let your heart guide you. And if it feels good and you're not hurting anybody, that is exactly what you want to do. If something's coming in and it doesn't feel good, then ask yourself, why am I even entertaining this? What benefit am I getting?
I get a lot of sadness that comes over me.
Yeah, because you're in your head. Because you're in your head. When you're in your heart
more often, how do I do that? What's the process?
I gave you some pretty good examples earlier. You need to connect to the things that speak to your own heart. So one of the things you can do is you can watch funny movies, or you can watch animal antics, or you can give yourself permission to just hold an animal next to your heart. And your heart will open because they know how to love better than anybody else. They're on a much higher frequency than we are. And actually what most people don't know is when we finish human lives, we step into animal lives because they have a much higher consciousness than we do. So if you hold an animal next to your heart and just love it, you'll be there. But you have to remind yourself what that is. You lived that way as a child. You lived in your heart all the time. Children are 100% of the moment. They are not anywhere else. They're right in the moment.
How do I deal with injuries, sicknesses that come in my life? I mean, I just got them recently, and I've
sorry.
never had
How
them.
do you do what? How do you do what?
How do you deal with injuries that make you lose your job and everything, and now you don't even know what's going on?
First of all, no. First of all, you created every single one of those because you're out of balance. And your body's trying to tell you you're out of balance. You are in your head way too much, and you're not in your heart enough. You're way out of balance. What you're doing is you're in your masculine energy, pushing, forcing, and insisting. You're not meant to be in your masculine energy anymore. We're done. So you surrendering and trusting is a big issue for you.
Yes,
and so your body's creating injuries to say to you, stop. Stop. Settle in your heart. Go in nature. Sit quietly next to a tree and come back into your heart. It's not that hard. It's much easier to get into your heart than it is to stay in your head because it hurts to be in your head. It doesn't hurt to be in your heart. Keep it simple, Barbara, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
And I'm giving you a big heart hug from me to you to help you to stay in your heart, okay?
Thanks, I really
You need
appreciate
8 hugs a day. You need 8 hugs a day to maintain mental health. You need to hug yourself. You need 8 hugs a day to maintain mental health. You need to hug yourself. So every time you get scared, every time you don't feel good, just hug yourself. You'll start getting more and more into your heart. I love you. Thanks, Barbara.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Much love to you, sweetie. Okay, that was good. Okay, I'm going to go to area code 604. 604, you're live.
Oh, hi there. This is
Nancy.
Nancy.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you very much for taking my call. Yeah, I guess my question would be why I seem to sabotage myself in my coaching practice. I move forward, and then clients come in, and then I get scared, and then things. It's still good. It's all around the money thing. I don't know if that makes any sense or not.
Well, it does. But what's your first name?
Nancy. My first name's Donna, but I go
Donna.
by Nancy.
Okay. Hi, Donna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Well, Nancy. Okay. Hi.
Yeah.
All right. So
Hi.
let's go by Nancy. All right.
Okay.
Here's the thing. When we came from the 8th, 9th, and 10th dimension, we were golden spirals of light floating and glowing as portals and stargates. You're only human in a human body in 3rd and 4th dimension. So when we were asked as ascended masters by the ascended master elders to come here to lead the way, we had to go back down all the dimensions, all the way back down to 3rd dimension. And we were tortured and abused for our power extensively. Those are the lives you remember as Salem witch trials or being on the rack or all of those kind of things. That's when that happened. And then we went through the veil of forgetting, so we didn't remember being tortured and abused. But what our bodies remembered is we didn't feel safe to be out there front and center. So we've been in the background for most of our life. Do you recognize that, Nancy?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
So you don't have to do that anymore, because when we shifted, we were going initially from love all the way down to the deepest point of pain and fear and unloving energy. But we cleared that 17 years ago. And we've been in 4th dimension now, being discerning and stepping out of our human suit and stepping more into our master self and detaching from everything so that we live truthfully for who we are. And because we've already shifted 17 years ago out of 3rd dimension, if you were going to be harmed, it would have been in 3rd dimension. So now we're going from fear back up to love. So you don't have to worry anymore. And Jesus told me 6 or 7 years ago, he said, Judy, you don't have to monitor your words anymore. Because as a teenager, I made the decision to put words through my heart, my chakra heart, and so that I would say it the way I would like somebody to have said it to me. So I've been very careful with my language since I was a teenager, because I was taught by Ernest Holmes at 7 years old that every thought you think, every feeling that you have, every word you speak, and every choice you make affects every form of life through infinity. And I will add, it also affects every other life you are living. So we need to be accountable for the way we use our power. And we need to come from a place of love and stop judging and criticizing. So consequently, what we've done is we've been in the background hiding, not wanting to be seen and known because of that programming that we felt when we came into our mother's womb. We didn't know why we were scared. We just were. Do you get that?
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
So that's the first part of it, okay? The second part of it is money for most of us that are the 10%. We have been, in a lot of our lives, supported by villages, tribes, the community, we as revered as healers. Money never had any place in our lives. So for us here, to have everything evolve around, whether it's a piece of paper or a coin, to us is absolutely ridiculous. Because we recognize that money is just another form of energy. But 90%ers have made it their whole world. And they have every right to do that, if that's what they choose to do. But what you need to recognize is your source is not money. Your source is not outside of you. You are your source. So in order to receive, you need to stop when somebody offers you something, saying, no, it's okay, I can do it myself. You notice that in you, Nancy?
Absolutely.
Right? So
yes.
You need to open your arms. I want everybody to do this with me today, right now, okay? Open your arms as wide as you can, and this came from Mother Mary in 2007. I am choosing to joyfully create today and have more fun than I've ever had. And I choose all that honors me. I choose all that blesses me. And I choose all that I'm entitled to come to me in the most miraculous, wonderful way that I can embrace who I am fully and completely in joy with every single breath. And if you didn't catch some of that, you just say very politely to your higher self, I choose 100% in whatever way honors me what Judy just said. But this came from Mother Mary saying to me, how do you feel about the word work? I said, I've never cared for it. She said, okay, what does it feel like? I said, it feels like I must, I have to, it's expected, I should. It doesn't have any good feelings at all. So she said, okay, how does joyfully creating feel? I said, wow, it feels fabulous. I'm opening my wings and I'm jumping off a cliff and I'm barrel rolling as I'm flying here and flying there, having the time of my life. She said, so start changing the words in your vocabulary that do not feel good and start bringing in the words that do feel good, and you will shift your life. So the key is you need to recognize, do you understand? You need to recognize yourself as your own source. And I've lived this because I went through getting my divorce for 10 years. And when I finally got into court, because I had to fly from one state to another, I did not get to say one single word. Everything was awarded to my ex-husband, almost 90%, and it was a California state. And after I got finished, Archangel Michael said to me, while I was in court, I'm going to stand behind your ex-husband because you're not going to get to say anything. And it was a commissioner, not a judge, and it was a Good Old Boys Network. But it honored me so beautifully once I understood why. So I said everything to my ex-husband's higher self that I needed to say that day that I wasn't getting to say in court. And 2 weeks later, because I still had $50,000 in debt, because the home was awarded to him and we'd lived in it and been together for 23 years. So I didn't get any equity out of the home, and that would have covered my $50,000 in debt. So here I was, no equity, no home, none of that. I got a third of his retirement. That was it. And 2 weeks later, Archangel Michael came to me, and he said, Judy, you won in court for you personally, even though you didn't win in court financially. He said, but let me explain to you why. And then he explained that I would have been totally obligated if I still had half the house as my responsibility, living in one state, having to commute to another. My ex-husband would have been appointed the one to make all the appointments. And if we were going to sell a house, then I've got to meet with him to call in the realtor, get carpeting, and all this had to be done together. So he said, your ex-husband didn't want the divorce. So he said what he would have done is, halfway mid-flight to meet an appointment that you've taken off of work for, he would change the appointment and claim that he was too ill to attend the meeting and reschedule it for 2 weeks later, and you'd be obligated to take off of work again and come back to the state to meet again. He would have done this for 4 years until all the money was used up. I had never even considered anything like that. And he said the entire time you would have had to deal with him every single time. So he said, I'm suggesting that you open your arms and you tell your higher self how you choose to receive all that you're entitled to. And I did. And I said, I choose to receive all that is wonderful with people that respect me and love me, and I respect and love them. And I enjoy them and they enjoy me. And I went on. At the very end, I said, and I choose to take my dog with me to work every day. And within 2 weeks, I got a call from a woman who employed me in a totally different way I'd ever worked. And it was given to me that I would be paid under the table a very sizable amount, and that would take me out of debt. And this had all been agreed upon before my birth. And I did get to take my dog with me to work every day. So I recognized I was my own source. Do you get this?
I do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So much.
I love you.
Thank you, Nancy.
I love you too. Thank you. Thank you.
Joyfully creating. I kind of got a few of, it was a beautiful sharing about creating and choosing all that honors me and blesses me and comes to me in the most miraculous ways.
And all that I'm entitled to.
And all that I'm entitled to.
All
so
that
Nancy,
I'm entitled to.
Yes. Create, my dear.
And have fun. Create instead of work.
Yes.
Much appreciated.
Okay, many blessings to you and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Judy, I want to go to a couple of questions in the webcast because there's many here. So, okay, Lynn, I'm going to go to Lynn from Madison Place. She said, do you know my dragon's name? He was copper brown color with a red glowing orb in his belly. Do you know my dragon's name? That's Lynn.
Hold on. Okay, hold on, Lynn. Let me tune in. OPIL, Opal.
Okay. Well, that was easy. Lynn, there you go. Okay.
See, it's hard to shorten it because dragons have several names, and they're very, very long. So I always ask them to shorten it and give it to me in a shorter form.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. And Tatjana, I believe, from Berlin, Tatjana, she said she'd like to know who her dragon guides are or to which dragon she can connect with.
She has an emerald green dragon, and it's an Irish dragon. It's all color of emerald green. It's stunning. It has yellow eyes. And hold on. Lossi. L-O-S-I.
Okay. Beautiful. Tatjana, I hope that I am pronouncing your name okay. And I hope that you heard that. And Lynn, I hope you heard that. Ellie from the Netherlands said, is it true that I see a golden dragon sometimes?
Yes. Yes. And by the way, I started seeing golden animals in 2005. And for 5 years, I saw nothing in print or anybody else talking about golden animals. Golden animals represent the I am presence of animals in the New Earth. And gold is the color for divine consciousness. So when you start seeing things in gold, it means you stepped out of human consciousness, you stepped into divine consciousness, and the New Earth has already always existed. We're just aligning to it. So thank you very much for your question, Ellen.
Beautiful. Okay, Susan from Salt Lake City. She said, I think my dragon's name is Pedro. He's black with a pink outline. Is that correct or am I crazy? Susan.
First of all, please trust what you're getting. Because the more you trust what you're getting, you will be given more. So honor Pedro. If that's what you got, honor it. Because then you open the door to further communication. Doubting just blocks. If there's something more he wants to add at a later time to give you another part of his name or he wants a different spelling of it, he'll give it to you. But honor what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we could go on and on. Judy, I want to highlight your offer, which is a session with you that for those who haven't experienced this, Judy is one of a kind, really. And Judy, you're very devoted in your sessions. They go until you're complete with what needs to be shared in them, and that's unlike others that anyone else I know. And I want to add and highlight that with everyone who purchases a private session with you, you will be recording the sacred prayer, which you always include. And these are some of the most powerful sacred prayers that I know of. So that will be a part of this offer should you choose to schedule your session with Judy. Judy, do you want to mention anything else about these sessions?
Yes. First of all, right now my clients are booking into the third week of November, just so you're aware. And the beautiful thing is all of our appointments are always by divine appointment. You and I have agreed before you and I were ever born to have this appointment. That's why you're on the call. So the time isn't important. That's designed by us for how you are to be ready for the call. And once you book your session, your higher self and my higher self start helping you to prepare for the session. And there's many, many things that you may discover about yourself or be guided in new ways that are all about presenting whatever it is I'm going to share with you. And when I see the word complete, that means your higher self has said to me, you've honored everything that this being and you agreed to, and you're done. So I allow 3 hours between clients because I don't know how long it's going to take. I average an hour and a half, sometimes to 2 hours. And it's information that is not coming from things that I've read. It is information coming through your higher self, guiding me as to what's most important to share with you. And when people say to me, I'm not hearing anything new, I'll see their guides laughing and they'll say, because you didn't listen. And I'm asking her to present it again because you didn't listen. So you can be aware of something, but living it is a totally different thing. And so many times your guides will remind you of something that you think you already understand, but if you understood it, you'd actually be living it. So that's the huge difference. Mm-hmm. So I'm given all kinds of information, and I do all kinds of work that each session is unique in its own. I have no preconceived ideas. You and I create it as we go. And it's always in alignment with your higher self. It's not about my ego. It's not about the messages for me, because it's not about me. I'm here to give you whatever they're giving me. And it's exactly what you have asked for. So it's quite amazing the variety of information that I present. And there are some things that are similar because we're all the 10%ers and we're ascended masters. So there's some information that is similar between people. But what's interesting is to see how it's presented, and the way that it's given to me can be quite amazing. Mm-hmm. So the key is when I do sessions, and I get this a lot, I get people who are not used to being listened to. And I hear everything they say. And when I'm listening fully. I'm 100% there. I'm not doing anything else. And I get people who will say to me, are you still there? And I'll say, yes, I'm listening. Mm-hmm. And they'll burst into tears and they'll say, I realize for the first time in my life, I'm being listened to. I've never really been listened to before. And it's the same thing with people. If they come on the session and they're busy doing other things, I get very quiet because they're being disrespectful to themselves, to their guides, and the reason they're there. So if I'm in the middle of talking and they're making lunch, I just get quiet. Because I'm not here doing other things while I'm talking to them. It's disrespectful to be doing other things when you schedule an appointment, and this is an appointment with your higher self. Can't get more sacred than that.
Right.
So however time I give you and whatever time I do, and then if when I'm doing the session, my throat starts closing up, if it's closing up through most of the session, then that means that you have not been able to speak your truth and you've had to swallow your pain. And if I get that, then I schedule another session with them for an hour and a half in about 6 weeks, and I don't charge them for it. And I take them through the technique that Archangel Michael did with me in court so that they speak their truth and we clear it out of their system. If my throat starts closing up, and it does it once or twice, and through the whole session, and it doesn't continue, then that tells me they're not ready to clear it.
Mm.
So, when I do that, that's another hour, an hour and a half on me. I'm not charging for that. But here's how powerful this can be, and I'll keep it brief. I had a lady who we had been on the phone for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And when she first got on the call and I had scheduled her for this session, the first thing she said to me is, Judy, I deeply respect you. And I know that this purpose of this session is for me to speak my truth. She said, but to be honest with you, I don't have issues with anybody. Now, mind you, my throat was closing up so much on her call, I had to get off the phone and clear myself to go back and continue working with her, to do her session. I was choking. It was so intense. So I listened to what she said, and I said, out of courtesy, because my throat was closing up, I trust what my body's telling me. And when I do a session, I'm like a little one-woman band. I'm coughing, I might be burping, I might be doing any of these things because I'm clearing for the person, right?
Right.
And so anyway, I said to her, so let's make a list of the people that you might want to speak your truth to that you've had to swallow your pain with. Interestingly enough, she ended up with a list of 38 people from I don't have anybody, okay? So after 2 hours and 15 minutes of doing this I Am Present session, which I do, all of a sudden she gets very, very quiet. And she says, my father molested me from the time I was 7 until I was a teenager, and I've never told anybody. Bingo. That's why we were on the call. And it took another 30 minutes to clear that out of her, and she was totally a different experience when we got off the phone. But had I allowed my head to say, I've been on the phone with her for 2.5 hours, then we would have lost it. But because I stayed with her for 2 hours and 45 minutes until I knew she was clear, we got it.
Right.
That's how dedicated I am, if you look at it that way.
Yes, you are. I know that about you. I think that's why you're always booked so far ahead of time, because people really do value their time with you, Judy. And I know I always have, I always do, and it's why when you come on the show, I just want to let you speak, just until you are complete. Do you mind if I know that, are you going to be doing a transmission or channeling? Okay.
I'd like to do it now. Yes.
Let's go ahead and do that then.
Yeah. The fire dragon, Rutai, was very specific, and I want to take a minute and remind myself, because they came in, and it was very, very clear what he said he wanted us to do. So let me take a minute.
Okay.
Since I'm dealing with 4 of them. Okay. Hold on. Okay. All right. I want all of us to close our eyes and step into our heart center. And earlier this year, I did another telesummit with a carnelian stone for a different reason. And a beautiful being named Lady Carnelion came in. She was absolutely exquisite, and she asked that she help Rutai to do this process. So we're calling in Lady Carnelion along with Rutai. And what it is we want to place the carnelian in any area of disturbed earth to help protect, purify, and heal. So I want each of us to connect heart to heart and feel yourself stepping into your heart space. If you're able to see, you can see Lady Carnelion standing in the center of all of us, along with the red dragon, the fire dragon, which is Rutai. And in this moment, they are twirling, and she's going clockwise and he's going counterclockwise, so that all energy is being honored. And I'm seeing us swirling clockwise and counterclockwise as each of them go around in a circle twirling. to take us into this flow of energy. And I see the heart of Mother Earth as a beautiful diamond that is just radiating such beauty because she's so grateful that we've come here to honor what Lady Carnelion is asking of us and also the fire dragon Rutai. So take a moment and feel their presence because they're all around you. And now see in the middle of our circle the earth. And now step into the earth and now see yourself as a part of the globe of earth. And feel yourself as Mother Earth because you are Mother Earth, the part of you that's Mother Earth. We're claiming that part again in this moment. And all the wisdom of being Mother Earth, we claim into our sacred heart in the way that honors us. So in this moment, I want you to send, each one of you personally, send a carnelian stone. And the carnelian stone that was for you was given to you last night in your sleep state in your heart as a gift from Rutai. So you all got one last night. So I want you to see that stone literally expand until every part of the earth is that carnelian stone. And the carnelian stone knows exactly where to go, that there is a disturbance in earth and on earth and of earth. It knows exactly where to go. So each of us send your stone to the heart of the earth and see the heart of the earth expand as the carnelian stone becomes the earth. And just hold the space for the carnelian stones and the carnelian stone consciousness to penetrate every single part of the earth as so guided by Mother Earth, Lady Carnelion, and Rutai. And you are all of them. So in this moment, feel in your own body where that stone energy is touching, because the earth has chakras, the earth has a heart, the earth has its own body, and you are part of that body. And so it's going to heal you in the area that the earth needs it. Do you get that? So just take a moment and breathe and feel that beautiful red glowing energy of the carnelian in your body and bless it. And know that as you bless the healing, the earth is also blessed. And the part of you that is the earth is also blessed. And you are now in oneness. And so take a moment and hug yourself, because you're hugging the earth. And you, as representing the earth, are loving every single part of earth. And therefore, you're loving every single part of you. And so now Lady Carnelion is coming into your sacred heart with your permission. So if it's acceptable to you, she will enter your heart. If not, she will just give you a kiss. And the fire dragon Rutai is offering also its assistance for the rest of your life as well. So there again, it's up to you to accept or not accept. And I see him going into your third eye and helping to create from there. Now you also have a fourth eye on the crown of your head called your moon eye. That's your feminine eye. So I'm asking for Rutai to bring together your third eye and your fourth eye and merge them if you have not done that. And if you have, then they will be supporting your whole eye. And then your two human eyes are joining your third eye, which is masculine, your fourth eye, moon eye, which is feminine, and bringing it back into the eye of divinity.
And now that is in the middle of the crown of your head, going into the middle of your head, right behind your third eye. And now you have the opportunity to see through the divine eye of truth for you what would most honor you. And we offer that to your I am presence, and so it is. Just take a breath and cover the whole earth and you with your own love. And it is done. Okay, now we want to do the water dragon. And we're calling forth the Mer People, because you're living lives as mermaids and mermen. You're also living lives as ocean jasper. And you're also living lives as Magi, which is the beautiful water dragon, ocean jasper water dragon that we're bringing forth today. So Rutai and Lady Carnelion have now gone into our hearts. And now in the center of the circle is Magi, who is the ocean jasper water dragon. And when he came to me, I see him coming out of a lake of sea green water. And every part of him carries all water life. And I saw a big place of complete peace come over its whole body. So it's asking us to hold the light in a liquid form, to swim the highways and byways of earth. And they hold the memories of Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu, and many other sunken civilizations. And we want to heal what once was and the tears that the ocean is holding. And we want to swim through time to see all of the water through the eyes of 1,000-petal blue lotus. And we're reclaiming our own sense of self as the Atlantis, as Lemuria, as Mu, and all the sunken civilizations, the sunken civilizations. So in this moment, Ocean Jasper, Water Dragon, is standing sea green, and he looks so just fluid. It's beautiful. Such grace. And it's asking permission to enter your heart, because dragons are androgynous. So some are presenting themselves in a female energy briefly or a male energy briefly in order to touch those parts that they need to touch, and then go back into being androgynous. So in this moment, invite Magi into your heart if you feel so guided. And now you are reclaiming, just like you did with Rutai and just like you did with Lady Carnelion, you're reclaiming the parts of you that are this beautiful water dragon named Magi. And every part of you is being filled with water wisdom. And all the lives you've lived in any form of water. And 80% of your body is water. So this is affecting every single one of your bodies in the most beautiful way. So I want you to see yourself as a sea green, swimming beautifully water dragon, going and covering the whole earth through the waters, whether they be oceans, whether they be rivers, whether they be lakes, whether they be clouds and rain. It does not matter. All of the earth is literally being swam into, through, and around all of earth by this beautiful dragon Magi. And now you are that dragon, and you are swimming through all of earth as you're swimming through yourself and all the bodies of water inside your own body as earth. And feel the soothing energy of this beautiful sea green energy and the purity of white and also the brown that's in this beautiful markings of this gorgeous water dragon. And just breathe in and take in the serenity and the grace of this beautiful being, and know that this is you. You are serenity. You are grace. And so in this moment, the whole earth is allowing for everything, all the byways, all the highways. We're now calling in all the whale consciousness, because they're in charge of the ley lines and all of the lines of the earth. And we're asking for their assistance with us to swim the whole world to honor the highways and byways of earth. And in this moment, we are choosing to connect to the part of us that is the consciousness of Atlantis, and the consciousness of Lemuria, and the consciousness of Mu, and any other sunken civilization that we've been a part of. We choose now to clear the tears of the ocean by swimming through time and out of time, and seeing through the eyes and see yourself as 1,000-petal blue lotus. And each petal of you as 1,000-petal blue lotus is now taking in and absorbing all of the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding and the love of you as Atlantis and Lemuria and Mu and all the sunken civilizations. And every part of you is being upgraded and is being literally uplifted into stepping into the ancient knowledge that all of these parts carry. And the circular patterns on the ocean jasper remind you that we are all interconnected in a cyclical pattern. We are a golden spiral of light with no beginning and no end. And so in this moment, we call in the Mer People. And we call in the part of us that has been Mer People. And we call forth the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of ourselves as Mer People. And we ask the Mer People to now cover the whole earth in their wisdom and knowledge and understanding. So that connects to the humans and to the people, and the water is then feeling all of everything in this moment, nurturing, supporting, and healing. And so in this moment, as this sea green, beautiful gathering of energy that carries all these different things, I want you to put your hand on your heart, and I want you to feel the whole earth is you as this beautiful heart. You are one heart, and literally see everything in the world as one heart. And it's a sea green heart, as all water in every way, shape, and form, and all those that are the guardians of the water are all being blessed and thanked, and we are welcoming in all the wisdom of the water. And in this moment, as you breathe, know that every part of you and your body through the water of your own body is receiving this blessing as well. And so as you have your hand on your heart, we're sending this message to the heart of the earth that we are one heart in all of creation, and we are home. Take a deep breath, let it anchor into your heart, and now giggle. As you giggle, you anchor in the joy that the dolphins and the whales came to show us. And we are divine beings of joy. And we've just now anchored that into the heart of the earth and expanded it into the heart of all and everything. And so it is, beloved, we are.
Beautiful, Judy. I love that you always anchor in the joy. with your beautiful giggle, and I had muted myself or you would have heard mine, but I am back. That was really, really beautiful. A lot there. Something to listen to again.
Many times.
Is that too?
Something every time.
Absolutely.
Every time. But Benjamin Franklin is here, so I just want to take a minute and see what it is he wants to share. Okay, here we go. My dear Earthlings, I come today to celebrate your choice. I was a conscious chooser in life. I chose each character trait to celebrate each month of the year. I was a conscious creator. And I am realizing as I am listening to you, and I am seeing all of you so beautifully in the heart as big stars. And I see you twinkling in the earth. And it's so beautiful to see all these twinkling stars of your own beauty. And I just want to celebrate you and let you know that you are being watched and enjoyed and supported and assisted by everything in this universe. They are amazed at what you have been able to accomplish and the heart with which you've done it with. You've done it with sincerity, and you've done it with truth, and most of all, you've done it with integrity. And that has not always been acknowledged. So let it be acknowledged now. As I represented those particular things in my life, I want to acknowledge them in you. So I take a moment and I give you a wink, and I give you a big, big hug, and I celebrate you and your lives and your commitment to being the powerful master beings that you are. Celebrate life. Celebrate you. And celebrate every form of life and every emotion that you have. It's in a relatively short package, and it's enormous opportunities you have to experience life in any way you choose. So as the white dragon said, I celebrate that, and I celebrate you. This has been Franklin, and I love each and every one of you and the choices you're making to make a difference for all of humanity and life. And we are
wink,
done.
Wink, wink. Yeah, wink, wink, Ben Franklin.
I know. I've not had him come in before. So that's very interesting that he would come in today on this call.
Yes, celebrating us as twinkly, co-creative stars, which we all are. And I hope that everyone is feeling the courage to be authentically yourself, which was the prime message here today with you, Judy, and with the dragons, is to really confidently and courageously step into who we are and be these examples that we're here to be.
And trust the integrity of your own soul. You don't need to know and you don't need to understand. Those are both fear-based concepts. Just trust what you get. Let that opening open more and more so you can step more and more into your own mastery and you can get your own answers.
Judy, I want to clarify what you shared today in the channeling is separate and different from the sacred prayer that you will be adding to the package?
Yes.
Okay.
It is very different. Yeah, the dragons, all 4 dragons are involved in the prayer. And they take you into what they call the cave of wellness. And you literally enter what looks like the fountain of youth and wisdom. And you're fully immersed in their energy. And then they take you on this journey up this mountain, because this is in Peru, they're telling me, is where the cave is. And you go up this mountain to what they call the mountain of the ancient ones. And you connect to the very most ancient parts of you from the very point of creation. And you reclaim yourself as an ancient. And you join the group of ancients, and they stay with you for the rest of your life. It's a very, very sacred prayer. And each one of the dragons serve a different purpose. And this beautiful Ankalil, the beautiful carved dragon from Valley, is the one who summoned all this by listening to our hearts and what we personally were needing. And everything is provided and given by the dragons that you've requested. And the dragons have been telling me they've been meeting with you the last 2 weeks in your sleep state, and they've been getting a list from you of everything that you choose to receive and to step into. And they've got an itemized list. And Ankalil is in charge of that list. And so towards the end, all that you've asked for is downloaded into you. So it's quite a powerful prayer. And it's held in the cave of wellness and in the mountain of the ancients, which I had never heard of either one of them.
I want to highlight, Judy, this was specifically intended for this group. And all of you beautiful beings who are listening right now or to the replay, Judy, it's been pretty amazing because we've gone almost 2 hours, and I would say 98% have stayed with us the entire time. They know they're meant to be here and to hear this, and so that is a beautiful, beautiful thing that we're co-creating here.
Yes. And Ankalil, this beautiful carved dragon, is the one who mainly started all this for today. By showing up, and my heart just opened the moment I saw it. It is such a cherished being, and it is so beautiful, and it's so humble because it's blushing right now as I'm talking. But the beautiful thing is, each of these beings, you helped create this call, and you helped create that prayer, and you put in that prayer through your energy of your heart. As I connected to all of you before I started writing down the prayer, and I still haven't finished it. I still have more to go because they still have more to do. And once I finish this prayer, then I will send it in a typed form to Carrie and her assistant, so you'll get the typed form. And then my computer lady and I, depending on my level of fatigue, because I've got 2 more sessions after this, sometime in the next several days, we will record the prayer. And when I do the recorded prayer, I do it live. So other things are added that isn't in the script. And it's 100%.
We'll be sharing that with everybody who purchases your package and gets the session with you. Feels really significant. I'm so happy and excited that we're all here today. And to every single person who has been a part of this, thank you. And Judy, of course, to you, my beautiful friend and just soul companion, I love you so much for all that you are and all that you do.
And I thank you for giving us an opportunity to present the information from these 4 dragons that was so important, because you gave the avenue and the way for their message to go all over the world. And they're saying they want you to love yourself like you've never loved yourself. And they want you to celebrate every single part of you and throw out all the criticism and just let it go. You're divinely perfect, whole, and complete. You always have been, and you always will be. You're just living experiences which you agreed to have. So celebrate your life and listen to your heart and be the beautiful truth that nobody else can be. It can only come out through your heart with love. Allow that to come out. The world needs it. So I say to you, namaste. from my heart to yours. And I give Carrie a big hug for making the opportunity for these beautiful 4 dragons to get their message out. And all of you for helping to create this message, and also this beautiful prayer, which I'm so excited to be transcribing as I'm going through this with them. It's quite wonderful.
What an experience. Judy, you're the best. Huge hug to you and to all the brilliant, beautiful, amazing dragons. And yes.
Let's all breathe our fire out, because we all have our passion. And one of the things they tell me, especially in the prayer, is they carry passionate power. And they're reconnecting us to our passion because we have forgotten our passion. So take a moment, just in this moment, and breathe out your fire from your whole belly and your whole being. And just let that be your signature. Here we go. And so it is. Beloved, we are.
Thank you, Judy. To everybody who has joined us, we are celebrating you. Twinkling stars, as Ben Franklin said so eloquently. Please write in and let us know how you're feeling. I hope you're feeling full of passion. What has stood out for you today? What has shifted for you? Please let us know. And please give yourself the opportunity to get this sacred prayer and work with Judy in her beautiful offering. Thank you for going on this adventure with us. I am sending waves and waves of love, light, joy, and appreciation from my heart to yours. May you feel it, receive it, offer it to those you encounter today or tonight, wherever you happen to be in the world. And as always, until next time, everybody, please give yourself full permission to shine instead of shrink, express instead of suppress, and own that amazing, powerful glow of yours. I'll see you back here in this playground of light very soon. Bye-bye, everybody.